Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to a new day. It is Thursday morning, which means it's food pantry day, and I almost missed it because I overslept a little bit. Not totally, but I was in a rush to get here. They wouldn't have closed, but I always just like to be here at 9 o'clock. But I got here a little bit after, and so yeah, we got some good stuff. So we had a power outage last night for about 6 hours, and so we had no heat in the house. Luckily, it only got down to like 63 or so, but it was enough to make Glenn real cold. And but yeah, I bundled up. I slept in my sweatpants and two tops, and just wanted to make sure we weren't going to be cold. But about 4 o'clock in the morning, power came back on. The heat kicked in right away. So yeah, all worked out well. But yeah, so I got to run a couple errands right now. I got to go to the vet and get Gypsy her monthly heart guard and X guard for heartworm and flea and tick prevention. And got to stop somewhere else. I can't remember where right now, but I'll remember on the way. So yeah, stay tuned for our food pantry hauls today. And all right, everyone, so I am home from the morning food pantry. So let's see what we got in our food pantry haul. And I've got the oven preheating, so I'm going to be making some bacon, and you'll see why in just a moment. Let's go over this. So we got some breads this week. Again, extra stuff that they would have tossed out had we not taken it. And I mean myself and another person that was there. So we got some sliced, it's already sliced Italian bread. So what I'm going to do, that was the oven. I'm going to quick throw the bacon in. Okay, I'm back. Loaf of sliced Italian bread. It's really soft. And you can see because it was past the best by date, it was reduced from 90 cents, or you saved 90 cents. It was $1.47 and it was 57 cents afterwards. So we got it at the pantry. So what I'm going to do is just divide this up and freeze them in different packages so I don't have the whole loaf sitting out at one time. So this would be great for garlic bread when we have spaghetti or another pasta like lasagna or something. So I'm going to split this up. And then we also got this loaf of Hawaiian bread. It's sliced. It's Hawaiian bread, so it's supposed to be sweet. Again, another item that was past the best by date. So I'm going to do the same thing, and I think I want to try this in what's that that breakfast, French toast. Yeah, so I might try these in some French toast, but again, I'm going to do the same thing, split them up into like packs of 4 and freeze them like that. That way we always have bread. And then the last bread we got was a pack of ballpark hamburger or hot dog buns. We don't currently have hot dogs, but you can use them for like meatball sandwiches or anything like that. But I'm going to go ahead and freeze them. All right, so let's see what else we got. We got 2 pounds of ground beef. And what I'm going to do with this right now for lunch, I'm going to make us some hamburgers. Well, I'm going to make bacon cheeseburgers for myself, cheeseburgers for Glenn. So I'm going to use one up right away. I'm going to have to defrost it in the microwave. I normally don't like doing that, but I'll try to catch it before it defrosts too much. The other one, I'm going to let thaw out and make some more hamburger patties and then throw them in the freezer for when we need something for lunch, and they're already split up into hamburger patties. I can just take them out, thaw them out, and fry them. So that's what I'm going to do with that 2 pounds of ground beef. Over here, this at first sight, this looked like one of those 4 packs of like Ensure milks or drinks or something, but it's actually chicken broth. So yeah, I don't know how big these are for 8 ounce. Each one is 8 ounces, so that's good. Just for those times you don't need a whole carton of it, but you just need a little bit. So that's good. They're called quick cups. So Swanson chicken broth. And then got a can of chicken noodle soup for Glenn. Got a can of chicken breast for when we make like chicken patties. And I thought to use this like in a salad or something, see how that tastes. Try some other meals with that. A can of pineapple chunks. Again, if we were ever to make our own pizzas, I do like pineapple chunks in mine. And I like to eat it just like that. And look at this. We got this big 20-ounce can of Belmont peanuts, honey roasted gourmet peanuts. Oh, can't wait to try those. But that's a big can. So it's in my hand. So yeah. Got a box of Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. I like those. Got a box of mac and cheese. Box of home-style instant mashed potatoes. Or did I say a box? I mean a bag. And some vanilla pudding. I love vanilla pudding. And the last thing is this. This is chow mein spicy teriyaki beef. So I actually picked it up for myself because I used to eat chow mein years ago when I lived in Oceanside, California, which is in San Diego County. But I used to eat chow mein a lot. I haven't since. So I thought I'd try some again, and I saw teriyaki, so I like teriyaki. I didn't see the spicy part. So Glenn's going to try this, and I might try a little bit of his to see how spicy it is, but that's a meal in itself. So, all right. I'll be back with you on a voiceover to see how we're going to split this up in meals. But right now, I got to get to thawing out some ground beef and making some lunch. Hey everyone, so it's afternoon now, just before 2 o'clock, and I just got out of the second food pantry, so I'll have the 2 food pantry hauls for you. Got some good stuff from both pantries today. Well, we always do, so everything we get is a blessing because we're going to use it all, and that's why I pick it. And that's the reason I go to these particular food pantries, because I can pick the stuff that I know we're going to use. So I'll have that pantry haul for you as well. And yeah, and let's just see how many meals we can get out of this. Now, some of the stuff in this pantry I might have to mix with last week's pantry stuff to make up a meal, but I'll show you what I come up with, and then you can give me suggestions also. Maybe I didn't think of that, so yeah, so stay tuned. All right, everyone. So I have the second food pantry haul of today. So let's go over this. First off, we got some, well, these are Nutria fruit and grain bars. We got some like granola bar type stuff. These 2 are blueberry. Maybe Glenn will like those. He likes blueberry stuff. I don't. And these 2 are chewy chocolate chips. So we got some of that stuff. For our produce, we got 3 bananas, we got 2 potatoes, and 1 green bell pepper. So some good produce to go with stuff in the house. And we got a 1-pound bag of shredded mozzarella cheese. So that's always good. And we got our roll of toilet paper. We got a pound of ground beef, another pound. So that makes 3 pounds of ground beef today. And in another video, I think it's going to be like what's for lunch and breakfast. You'll see what we did with 1 of the pounds of ground beef. So we got another dozen of eggs. We got 1 last week as well. And we got some yellow mustard. And keep in mind also, as far as planning this stuff out for meal plan, some of this is just going to be stock up for the pantry. For instance, 2 cans of pumpkin. So we're really getting a good stock up of pumpkin, which is good because you can make a lot of pumpkin desserts. And I like to keep some on hand for when Gypsy has some troubles with her stomach. And then look at this 1 quart bottle of real lemon juice. Well, it's real lemon, and it's 100% lemon juice. So I do sometimes like to have lemon juice in the house for certain recipes. And I've always been wanting to get a bigger bottle just instead of those little lemon shaped ones. So I was glad to see that. Then over here we got a small can of mixed vegetables. And it's good to just have a small can sometimes because sometimes you don't need a whole can. And a can of manwich, a can of chicken broth, and a can of tomato soup, and a half gallon of milk. Now the milk we got last week is almost gone. So I've been using quite a bit of milk this week, so I'm glad there was more. And let me put this stuff away because again we were loaded up on bread, so I'll show you what we received today. All right, everyone, so here is the bread we received at the afternoon pantry today. Look at this big long sub roll. This is huge and it's really thin and it's super soft. So what I'm going to do, it looks like in today's food pantry hauls, I'm going to be splitting up bread is what I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to cut this in fours, and we'll use two at a time, one for Glenn and one for myself, to have sub sandwiches or something like that, or whatever we use it for. You can make mini pizzas out of it. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it in fours, and we'll get two people will get two uses out of this. So yeah, that's good. And then this one, also very soft, a little thicker but very soft. So I'm going to, actually I don't even need to cut it in half. I was gonna say cut it in half, but two of us will be using it, so I can just leave it whole, freeze it like that, and then cut it in half when I'm ready to use it, and each of us will get one half of it. So that's good. And then we got these are actually hot dog buns from our local bakery shop. So I will freeze these, and what I'll do is I'll split them in fours and freeze them in 2 packs of 4. And the morning pantry, we got some ballpark hot dog buns, and I'll do the same for that. So I have a lot of bread to split up today, but it's a blessing. And this is why you don't see me making bread, is because we get so much of it from the pantries that I don't need to make bread. But yeah, definitely so soft. I can't believe how soft this stuff is. All right, so that's going to do it for both pantries for today. So stay tuned, and I'll go over some of the stuff we used up from last week's food pantry, and maybe some of the plans we have for this week's food pantries, and see what we can do with it. All right, so stay tuned for that. Okay, everyone, so I just wanted to go over a few things from this food pantry haul in both of them, to go over a couple of things that I have either done something with, like froze it, or I've cooked it, or we've just tasted it, just to let you know what we're doing with this food. So let's go over these 2 loaves of bread. It was the Italian bread, sliced Italian bread, and sliced Hawaiian bread. Unfortunately, both of these, when I opened them to repack them in packs of 4, they were moldy inside. So please remember, these were the breads that were going to be thrown out if we hadn't taken them. So maybe they were bad already. I know they were past the best buy date, but they were soft, so it was kind of surprising to see they were moldy. I did start to pick the mold off, but I ended up just throwing it out for the squirrels. So at least the outside animals can eat off of it. So unfortunately, we weren't able to keep these 2 loaves of bread. All right, so for this can of honey roasted peanuts, they actually did not taste bad at all. Um, there were some big clumps where the peanuts were stuck together, but they actually didn't have a bad taste at all. So we did keep these, and are currently eating them, I guess I can say. So those were good. Okay, so for this little container of chow mein, all I can say is I guess I don't like the smell of teriyaki as much as I thought I did. It's been a while since I had some teriyaki, but the smell of the teriyaki coming out of these noodles was almost gagging to me. And Glenn did not care for it. He ate it, but he didn't care for it. It's not something we would go out and get. As far as spicy, it was a little spicy. He didn't think it was spicy, but his feeling of spicy versus mine are two different things. Any little bit of spiciness, to me, it's spicy. All right, so let's move on to the ground beef, and I'm going to just include these two pounds of ground beef along with a third pound of ground beef that we received at the second food pantry. So I actually have already, by the time you're seeing this video, I've already cooked all 3 pounds, and you'll see those in other videos. But this is some of the best ground beef we've ever received at the food pantries, and we've been getting this type of ground beef for a while now. It's 8515. It cooks really well. So we really do like this, and we hope it never goes away. So I'm hoping this Thursday to get more of this. And since I already cooked it, I might as well tell you that with one of the pounds of ground beef, after the first food pantry haul recording it, I did make us some cheeseburgers. So I used a whole pound of it. The second pound, I actually made more hamburgers for a breakfast that you'll see in another video. And the third pound, I actually made some taco meat Sunday night for tacos and burritos. We had a thing of each of them. So you'll see that in another video. And so that took up 3 pounds of ground beef. So I cooked 3 pounds of ground beef, but we actually are eating off of it 4 times because the taco meat will go for another night. So that took care of the 3 pounds of ground beef. Okay, so let's go over the eggs now. And I pretty much used all of the eggs by the time you see this video. So 8 of the eggs, I did hard boiled eggs for like midday snacks or late night snacks or whatever. But I did hard boil 8 of these eggs, and you'll see that in another video. I did a weekend vlog video that you'll be seeing pretty soon, and you'll see me that I hard boiled these eggs. So I also made us some breakfast with four, that's 8. Yeah, so I made some breakfast. I don't know what I was thinking, but I did make us breakfast with 2 eggs each, and that pretty much takes care of this dozen of eggs. So they came to good use. We'll never waste eggs, and luckily, even though we used all of these, we already had some eggs on stock, 18 pack that I had purchased at the store previously, so we still have some of those, so we're not out of eggs, and hopefully Thursday we can get some more. And now for the pumpkin. So one of these cans just went in the cupboard for stock, but I am going to be using one can today in a dessert I'm making, and you'll see that in another video, which I'm collecting some dessert videos I have done and putting them in that type of video. So I'll be making that today, but you'll see that later on. So one can is being used already and one is for stock. Okay, and the bread that we received at the second food pantry, the big long sub roll and the other sub roll and the hot dog buns, I was able to freeze all this. Of course, I didn't cut them open to look inside, but I didn't see any mold on the surface. And these came from 2 different pantries from the earlier bread that had mold on it. So I didn't expect the mold to be on this. But I was able to separate the hot dog buns into packs of 4 and freeze those. The long sub roll I did cut up and freeze that and froze the other loaf. So we'll get future use out of these rolls or this bread. And that'll take care of. Some of the stuff that we have already used or froze or made from this food pantry. So what I have now is the weekly meal plan for the week of January 7th to January 13th. So that's coming up right now. All right, everyone. So here is the weekly meal plan from January 7th through the 13th. I have it in this vertical form again, but I broke it down so it's clearer to see for you. All right, everyone. So here is part of the first week. I just enlarged it so you can see it a little more clear. I started off with Sunday the 7th, and I made some taco meat, and I have a half pound there, but I ended up using the whole thing so that we would have some the next day. But Glenn ended up having some tacos. I just made myself a ground beef burrito, and you'll see all that in a different video. So we had the taco meat. And then Monday, which is the 8th, we have some chili that's in the freezer. I had made that a couple weeks ago. So before it stays in there too long, we're just going to take that out and we're going to use leftovers in the freezer. So we'll have chili. All right, so on Tuesday, I have ground beef and cabbage skillet stir fry. And again, I have half a pound on that, but it's, yeah, it'll probably still just be half a pound. So that's coming up on Tuesday. And Wednesday, I have spaghetti because a week ago or so, we had lunch and I opened up a can of pasta sauce. So it's sitting in the refrigerator. So before that stays in there too long, I want to get it used up. So we'll have spaghetti on Wednesday. Then Thursday, I have chicken tostadas, another freezer leftover meal. A couple weeks ago, I made chicken, kind of like chicken taco meat, basically shredded chicken with el pato sauce. And so I'll take that out of the freezer again before it stays in there too long. And we'll have chicken tostadas on Thursday. And then on Friday, you can see there at the bottom, we'll have a beef stew. So in this week's meal plan, there isn't much we have to buy for our meals. And the only thing we need for any of these meals are for the beef stew, which I'll need carrots and tomato juice. Now, Friday or Saturday I don't show, but it's going to be leftover beef stew. So the beef stew usually goes 2.5 days. All right, so we don't have a big grocery list for this week because we're either using pantry food, food we receive from the food pantry, or freezer food, freezer leftover food. So that way it gets eaten up and doesn't stay in our freezer too long and goes bad. All right, so that's this coming up week's meal plan. So if you like the way I'm doing the food pantry video now, drop it down in the comments if you want me to continue doing this way. If so, I'll just keep doing it and including the upcoming week's meal plan with that. So thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch this video. I really appreciate all of you and all of your support. And with that, remember to live life, be good to yourself, and be good to others. Until next time.